back in February, the 1 millionth Land Rover Discovery rolled up the production lines, and Land Rover wanted to do a bit of an expedition, and they've settled on going from Birmingham all the way to Beijing, and we've flown out to meet them in Ukraine. And you might notice I'm wearing some fairly odd clothes. Hopefully you can see that. It's not particularly because I like wearing this sort of stuff, it's because we've joined them in Chernobyl. So this place, you may remember, went up in April 1986 when reactor 4 melted down, and this is Pripyat. This is the town where a lot of the workers lived. Actually quite a wealthy place back then. A lot of people earned good money from the plant, and it was evacuated not long after, and very few people have been back since. We've got special permission to come in here, and we're driving the Discovery around. Actually, when I first said I was going to be driving a Discovery around here, I was kind of struggling really to see the link, but actually the Discovery's been really good because the roads are in such bad condition. They're quite potholed. There's a lot of snow at the moment as well, which luckily the snow reduces the radiation massively by keeping it all cooled down and reducing levels 2 or 3 times. So we've been driving through the snow and through the potholes, and there's quite a lot of sort of flooded bits and things. So actually it's been a really good car to be here, and there's something about being in the Discovery that just makes you feel a little bit safer, even though it can't really stop you from radiation sickness and all that sort of stuff. But I think we're going to be okay. So we're just at a checkpoint now, the Chernobyl plant. Chernobyl itself is about an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half out of Kiev, and there's a 30-kilometre exclusion zone around the site, which no one's allowed in without permission. There's another border control. You have to show your passport and things like that. It's really quite strict. We were there for quite a while, just getting through before. And once you're in, it's really quite eerie. It's just very straight roads. And what's really interesting as well is that the Ukraine got its independence from Russia back in 1991. So because this explosion happened or the meltdown happened in 1986, this part of the Ukraine has been frozen in time from when it was part of Russia. So you've got the hammer and sickle back on the supermarket up there, and a very sort of communist era feel to all the buildings, which, you know, everyone's just abandoned. We've just got the nuclear power plant coming into view now. Obviously reactor 4 went down, and to deal with that at the time, they very, very hastily built a sarcophagus to cover it, and but they put no design work into it. They just had to very quickly lash it up, cover it, and it was a flawed design. It did the job briefly, but it was more of a sticking plaster kind of solution. And it's still not right now. It's still being patched up, and they're promising at the moment to do a whole new kind of archway that's much more has much more engineering integrity. And they're saying that will be ready by 2015. One of the things I couldn't believe was they were saying one of the reactors was still running for 14 years after the accident. It was still running and it was still supplying power, which I just found absolutely amazing.